Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2020 Toyota Tundra with the TRD Pro package, and it's in that beautiful green. You can kind of see it here. I'll show you photos. Wow, it's a really pretty truck, and really good sound, really good. You can probably hear it in the background. The engine's running. There's a rumble to it. It's got the pipes going on with, you know, the TRD pipes packages on there. Wonderful exhaust, and then air intake and some nice just growl going on under the hood, even at idle. Just really nicely done. Kudos to Toyota. So you may remember not too long ago, I went down to Texas and I did an off-road event with all the TRD Pros in the lineup, which is there's 4 of them now. So that would have been this, that was in this same color and everything. It was the 4Runner TRD Pro, the Tacoma TRD Pro, and the brand new Sequoia TRD Pro. So hoping to drive the Sequoia again. I want to drive it as a daily. I did drive it on the highway for that, but I really want to drive it on the daily. Anyway, I am getting slightly off course with the subject. This is the interior of the Tundra in the TRD Pro package. So let's get started. The usual, this hasn't changed in a while. The Tundra's been in this configuration for quite a while. So nice aluminum looking handle. Nice and big and grippy too, by the way. I like that. Easy to get to. And then here's your windows and your mirrors, or your locks, and the window locks up there. And then over here is where you adjust the side mirrors. Pretty plain Jane side mirrors. Over here, this is just for the lighting, so you toggle it on and off, or in the middle. So right now it's in the middle, which means when the doors open, the interior lights come on. And then you can turn them on manually, you can turn them off manually. Here's your dimmers. This is the headlight level, not dimmers. So you level out the headlights with this, so you can move them up and down a little bit. Helps with situations, you know, if you feel like your lights are too high and they're shining in people's faces, things like that. Down here, this is for the cargo lamp, same as this one, but it only affects the cargo lamp. Here's your automatic lights. Here's the rear window. It is a Tundra, so that means the entire rear window goes up and down. Pretty cool. Down there's the park brake. Hiding right under here, right on the edge right there, is the hood release. And you got a dead pedal here, which is unusual in today's pickups, it seems. I have noted. Not a terribly good dead pedal, but at least there is one. And that's about it for down in there. There you go. Some new shoes. I've had these for a little while, but they're new to me. Okay, moving along. Over here you have basically your infotainment controls. So you have volume here. You can select tracks, stations, etc. with these. And then here's your voice control, which you should use a lot, so get used to that in Toyota. It is oftentimes much easier to use than is the Entune infotainment. And then this holds mode and hold. So this changes your input mode on the stereo, and it also puts a call on hold, basically mutes it, mutes your outgoing on the call, mutes the radio as well if you need to do that. Down here is telematics, so this is how you make your phone calls. Also, a quick way to connect your phone, FYI. Just hit that if your phone's not connected, hit that and it will walk you through the connection process. Over here, we'll start up here. This is a driver information screen, which is that right there. So you basically page through it with that, select with that, and this is your back button. Down here is the main menus, so that goes through the main menus up there on the screen, maybe, possibly. There you go. And then your adaptive cruise, so your cruise control's on this dongle down here. Toyota's finally walking away from that, so it's just a matter of time before all the models, including this one, don't have this anymore. And then this is the distance setting for the adaptive cruise. I will say that when you shut the motor off and you turn it back on, it forgets everything you told it, and it defaults to that longest, widest margin again, and you have to change it. Lane keeping assist here, ditto on that. you shut it off. It's shut off until you stop and restart the car or the truck, and then you're on your own again. Really annoying. Anyway, over here you got your washer wipers, etc. So this is the speed. Up and down sets them. So you can see a quick one-off is up there, and then intermittent and so forth. And that's it. So pull it towards you to squirt. Over here is lighting. So you got signal turns up and down. You can see the headlights are on auto. These run the fog lamps right there, and then brights are back and forth. There you go. Vents. I love the round vents, and this has all of them. Look at that. Round vents. I love those because they're so directional, right? So you can just do all kinds of things. You can point them at almost anywhere you want, and then you can just close them completely. I really, really, really like these. I wish I could see them in more vehicles. So, going to the instrument cluster, which just about fits in one screen. Nice. Over here is your brights, right here. So push it in, turn it back and forth to dim and whatever on here. So I said brights, didn't I? Whatever. Here's your dimmer. Okay, here's your RPM gauge. So tachometer right there, and oil heat up there, engine heat down there, battery right there, fuel over there. I have put a fair amount of miles on this, FYI. So there's my average for fuel economy, which, given the circumstances, is not that bad. There is a lot of highway on my drive on this thing. But it's, I don't know what you would say. See, here's all the settings. I'm just going to go through this stuff. Here's the settings for different things, but I'm not finding my trip. It's probably because I have to actually push the trip button over there. So this right here, trip. So you can see where I put 275 miles basically on this at this point, and that's not bad at all considering everything. I haven't put any fuel in it, so the fuel usage you're seeing right there, that is 275 miles of fuel usage. A good portion, not a good portion, a chunk of that, maybe 15 of that, I'm going to say 12 to 15 was in 4 high, and a tiny piece of it, not very much in terms of distance, but in terms of time, it was about probably 45 minutes, but in terms of distance, maybe a mile in 4-wheel low. So there you go. That's kind of what you can expect. Over here is the speedometer with the Canuck miles per hour underneath, and warning lights are all over the place. So you can see I have the parking brake set. You can see I'm not wearing a seatbelt being as I'm parked. And there you go. Very simple dash, very straightforward, easy. Anybody can understand what's going on looking at this thing. It's pretty great. Hopefully you saw the menu options. I'm not going to dwell on them much, but you saw the stuff going on in the driver info screen. The settings screen is the one you're going to care about the most. So I'll get to that. Whoops, right here. No, wait, that's not it. Right here. You can go up and down. You can change things and change defaults, which is important. So before I mentioned the default for like the lane keeping, you can change that default here. Just kind of important to know. So that's it. That's what you got. And then, of course, my favorite screen, digital readout. All right, moving along. Down here, we got some interesting action happening. Here's tow haul button. So you stop the engine right there, right? This is the tow haul button. When you push that, the parking radars do turn off on their own, which is nice. Down here is your trailer brake controls. So you can see you set the gain and right. So I am told that every Tundra that comes with a tow package includes that by default. So there you go. That's really cool. Over here is your, you guessed it, 4-wheel drive controls. Really simple. Basically, you're in 2-wheel drive, you go like this, you're in 4-wheel drive, you push it in and go like that, you're in 4 low. And that's it. Pretty easy to use. Takes a minute to make the shift, so don't expect that as soon as you do this, you're in 4-wheel drive, and as soon as you do that, you're not. It does take a minute to shift, but you'll have an indicator right there that tells you what you're doing, right? So while it's blinking, it's making the shift. Because I'm in park, I don't think it's going to actually make that shift. It's going to, but it normally takes about 2 seconds. And then when I turn it off, it should just shut itself off after a second. There you go. So that's it. That's how this works. That's about all you need to know, honest. There is no, as far as I know, there is no differential lock. Typical Toyota. It's been a complaint of mine for a while. But, you know, there you go. So infotainment, as you can see, it's trying to stream off of my phone, and I forgot to disconnect the Bluetooth, so it's still showing it's trying to stream, but whatever. So home screen, you're going to be looking at this most of the time. This is kind of just the default home screen. You saw I hit the home hard button there. The menu button is probably more akin to what you're looking for. Here's your display settings. You can quickly go to that and turn the screen off, just like that. And then when you want it back on, you push one of the buttons. There you go. You can see touching the screen did nothing. So otherwise, these are pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot going on here. You got navigation. You got setup here, which is probably what you use the most. And you just, right at the beginning anyway, and you use this to kind of set things the way you want. I will point out the dimmer on the dash over there does dim this as well. Here's your audio settings, so the big audio screen we were on before. Here's the map, and you can use this as nav and seek, track phone stuff if you want to do that, and some apps if you have any apps. There are no apps on this, but you can add them, and they are tied to your phone, so you will have to know what you're doing. Over here, climate controls. You can see I got the bun warmers on low. That's the indicator for that right there. You control that with these right here, and then the passenger side's over here. So up and down, pretty simple, nothing complicated. Here's how you set it. You can set an auto temperature, so you can put in a temperature, automatically does it. You can sync the two sides, not sync the two sides, whatever you want. Turn it off right there. You can toggle your AC over here. I do not find a DC button. Anyway, yeah, dumb jokes. And then the rest pretty self-explanatory. Over here's your Duke's lights. Down here, you got some USBs. You got a giant shifter. Over here, you have some USBs. Here's your data one. Here's fast charging, quote unquote. And then here's your traction control button. And then down there's your 12 volt. And that's what you got down in there. Then you can see this sort of like extra drink holder, coin, purse, whatever this is. And this is hard plastic, so if you put a phone here, it will slide all over the place. I've been putting my phone over here instead. You can just lean it and let it sit, and then all it does is flop like this, and you're fine. You can do the same in here. Drink holders are a good size. I like them a lot. This is useful for like some keys or change or something, but again, hard plastic, everything slides around and flies. Shifter, nice big beefy thing. I like the feel of it. You don't have to pull any triggers or anything, you just move it, so just like that. And then like this, you have manual control. So I'm in drive right here, I go like this, I have manual control of the gears. I have video of me that may or may not show it because I haven't actually looked at the video yet, where I used this to go down a hill. I basically just forced it into third gear and left it and let it roll down the hill like that. Useful basically for that, and probably not much else. Off-road, I didn't feel any more control with that than I did, manually shifting than I did just letting the automatic do its thing. The exception being 4 low, you may want to use the gears in 4 low to force the low gear, keep it in first at higher RPM, something like that. But, up to you. Depends on what you're going to be using it for. Over here is this massive armrest with this nice storage spot in here. You can put a phone here. I have put mine in here. It just barely fits. You can see it's about the size of my palm of my hand, But honest, this kind of ends up being a catch-all. I've been just throwing things there, like my wallet and whatever, to make life easier. Giant bin. You can see I still have my work gloves, tie downs. There's actually one inside the other glove too. Tie downs, and a staple gun. I ran over to the store and had to get just a handful of 2x4s, and they were 8-footers, so they stuck out the back of the bed. So I just stapled on some red flags. So there you go. That's what that's from. I didn't take photos of me doing that, but it didn't look that great. Like it looked kind of pathetic. You got this giant, big ass off-road truck. And you got like 4 2x4s in there. It didn't look that cool, so that's probably why I didn't do the photos. And then you saw that the 12 volt was in there. Now the interior here, you can see this, I normally don't like this in a pickup truck, but in here it's really well done. This is nicely textured, so it's this fake leather. It's been nicely textured, and the bolsters are good. See the bolsters? They're not huge and they don't hug you, but they do keep you from moving around a whole lot. Between the texture of this material and that, you really don't slide back and forth on the seat too much. That's a good thing. You want that in a truck. You want to feel stable and confident. And then you just see the dashboard. The Tundra hasn't changed in quite a while, so you see this kind of flat, broken up with a little bit, and nice stitching. I really like that, and I like this strip across here. It just looks good. They did a good job hiding the hard plastics with some texture, and by drawing your eye to these other materials instead of that, and it just looks good all the way across the board. You see it's leatherette up there, nice stitching, pretty look, good looking. They just did a really good job. This is the crew cab model, so you see the giant back end, good size back seat, lots of room back there, which you expect in a pickup truck with a crew cab nowadays. So wonderful job, good truck. I like this truck. The Tundra is a very basic truck. You don't get a lot of the frills. You don't get a lot of the you don't get the massive towing and whatever else that you get with some other brands. But the Toyota Tundra is a very, very basic, very good truck. And in this green color and with this TRD Pro package, it is phenomenally awesome. So just for the sound alone, holy crap. But anyway, so that's what I got. That's it. This has been Aaron, AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.